Okay, number 7. This is this idea that we're going to end up with a monoculture. People in general are terrified that we're going to end up with a small number of cosmopolitan species or low diversity. We're just going to end up with rats and zebra mussels and brown tree snakes and things like that. That we're going to lose our local and regional distinctiveness, and that a lot of this is going to be precipitated through the influence of introductions. Well, maybe that is the case. Maybe that will come to pass. But in New Zealand, what we can say is that we've introduced tens of thousands of species. Among plants, something over 26,000 species, nearly 30 different species of mammals, over 30 birds, tens of freshwater fish, and really hundreds, if not thousands, of invertebrates. We really don't even know in that space. These additions have not led to corresponding extinctions, and most of the extinctions that have occurred have been due to, this is historically, have been due to overharvesting and to habitat loss. It's not to say that competition and predation aren't important factors today, they absolutely are, but simply to stress that these are often factors in association with a range of others as well. And it's fair to say that our ecological understandings of what happens when you introduce species in general have changed too. We used to think that highly diverse ecosystems were able to repel invaders. We had that idea that if the ecosystem is very diverse, nothing else will be able to fit in and will protect itself from invasion. What we now know is, however, is that highly diverse native ecosystems also tend to have high numbers of introduced species. So diversity itself seems to provide no protection against change, and more diverse ecosystems seem to promote ever more diversity. This is all not to say that diversity is necessarily a good thing, though remember, many native ecosystems, for example, have comparatively low levels of diversity. Native beech forest and something like a Raupo wetland, for example, are good cases in point. The very idea that diversity is necessarily good is, of course, another value judgment. What we can say, however, is that species richness has increased on a local, regional and national level due to introductions, both in New Zealand and elsewhere around the world. Global species richness has declined, sure enough. But as British ecologist Chris Thomas recently noted, we don't yet know if that may come to be counterbalanced to some extent by the evolution of new genes, varieties and species. And studies in recent times of rapid evolution in human-influenced environments seem to show that speciation, whether through divergence, hybridization, or other mechanisms, may be happening much faster than we once thought.